Hey guys! I'm going to start a video series of very small tutorials, and this one is for eyes. I started off with drawing a simple sloping arch so that I could find a good place to put my camera. But this is where you start off. You draw an arch and then you measure it, go to the side, that much, and then again, because with the human anatomy you can fit about 5 eyes on the face straight on. And you see, I go to the side and mark it with a dot to make it easier. I'm going to do a small line here so that I know how far I need to go up, and then try to match it as best I can. This will take a bit of practice. For like the first year or two, I didn't even draw 2 eyes in general, let alone straight on. So now you have 2 arches. I'm going to get an eraser if I can find it. Okay, here's an eraser. It's like this. But I'm not going to erase it yet, but it's going to come in handy. And now we're going to go into this corner and draw a tear duct. It'll go up a bit and then curve downwards with the rest of the eye because the eye is round. And so whenever the skin opens, it's going to go downwards most of the time. Of course, eyes are different. They sometimes slope upwards, sometimes slope downwards, sometimes more far apart, sometimes more wide, but I'm trying to draw the standard eye. If you look at it, this one looks larger, so I'm going to try to fix that. I'm going to measure it again. And that looks more like it. I'm going to erase this guideline so I can see the eyes more clearly, see if they need even more work. And this eyelash line is thicker than this one on the top. And you can either erase it and fix it in case you don't want a thick lash line. Like, most male characters do not have very thick lash lines. But from the sake of this tutorial, I'm not going to bother with it. So now the eyes look pretty similar. I'm going to zoom in. Oh, can the camera focus? No. Zoom out. I'm going to draw a small line here on the tear duct to actually show where it is. And now we're going to start drawing the iris. A lot of the times, a lot of the iris is hidden in the folds of the eye. And so I have a gentle curve. And a lot of the times they won't look right. Like, this one is more rounded up towards the bottom than this one, and it's also more narrow. And so you can fix it as needed. It takes a bit of practice. You can add eye shines wherever. I'm just going to add 2 here for kicks. And then the pupil. Okay, so now we're going to draw eyelid folds. Right now this person has a hooded lid or a monolid, and I find that the eyelid folds for each artist is different because people have biases towards different eyelids. A lot of the times I like to give it a hooded eyelid because I myself have a hooded eyelid, but with mine you can see bits on the front and the back where the skin is folding over the eye, but there's peeking through a bit. And sometimes with hooded eyes you do have a crease, And there's that. And a lot of things that people forget with eyes is that they do have lines on the bottom. With my eyes, they usually have a line about right here that continues the line but more straight, and a small line right under the eye. Of course, with people's styles, this can be interpreted differently, and with people's eye shapes, this can be different. This is how I like to draw my eyes, and this is how my eyes are shaped, and so of course I reference my own eyes whenever I draw. You can reference your own eyes, a picture's eyes, things like that, and come up with a completely different eye. But I find that the variation in most eyes is how the eyes are turned, like if they're upwards, straight, or sloping downwards a bit, and in the type of eyelid they have. A lot of people don't pay attention to the eyelid, but I feel like that is a very important and expressive part of the eyes. The last bit is eyelashes. You want to make these thin and tapered, and try to keep them random. Try not to allow them to be all in one place. Disperse them throughout the eye. And then with the lower part of the eye, it becomes a bit difficult, because then you have to think about if their waterline shows with how they are looking at the camera, or if their waterline is very hidden to begin with. Because if they're looking at the camera in such a way to where you should be able to see their waterline, the eyelashes do not connect towards the eye. There's a little flap of skin there, and then the eye. But in this picture, her waterline's very hidden, and so I'm just going to go straight away and put bottom lashes. Also with eyebrow, might as well go into that since we're doing the eye also. I find that the eyebrow is never extremely too high, and, well, eyebrows are many different shapes, but I find that they usually go a bit past the eye, really close to the tear duct, and then stop about right here to where you can make a line there. So one of the most generic types of eyebrows and eyebrow lengths. And with my style with eyebrows, I always make a little line connecting here, I don't know why. But it became a habit, and so I kept it. One eyebrow is always off, because one of my eyebrows is always off. Oh no, those eyebrows are terrible. Terrible, I'm just gonna skip that. Wasted your time. I'm sorry. Thank you for watching this tutorial, and I hope it helped. Goodbye.